Hey everybody, welcome back to the Slimefun Foot episode with your host Boomer. Today we are here finally with Crystamae Historia. This is so big we cannot fit this into one video. We're going to be splitting this up into at least 3 parts. We're going to attempt today to try to cover part 1, which is the core of what Crystamae is. Learning the basic machines, how to obtain crystals, how to cast the spells, how to use the staves, all that fun stuff. Part 2 and 3 we'll talk about at a later date. For now, let's get it right into this. If we go into the guide, we have a few different things. There's different machines we're going to use, different crystals. There's different staves that you will hold the charge plates to have our spells on. There's different tech and gadgets, some really cool stuff in there. There's paint brushes, there's other materials in here. We'll get to play with those in a little bit. There's some extra guides. If you get stuck, come in here and read these guides. It will tell you what to do. Okay? In addition, you have collections for your stories that we'll talk about here in a second, and your spells. We'll talk about those today as well. So, to get started, our goal is to try to obtain the crystals. Now, there are 6 different levels of crystals. There are 9 different types of crystals. As you can see, going across, there's elemental, mechanical, and so on. There's 9 different types. There are 6 different levels. Each type of crystal yields a certain amount of Crystaa. In this case, common gives you 1. Uncommon gives you 3. It's unique is 2. Mythical is 50. And then there's rare, which is 10. And uncommon, which is 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 10, 25, and 50. You're going to get those through a process of going through and chronicling an item and then realizing it. Chronicles, there are 4 different tiers. There are currently, I believe, 993 items in the guide that you can chronicle. So this is not, I love this, Seffi. This is not something, 1, that you can automate. 2, this is not something you will complete in 2 weeks. This is a long, drawn-out process, and I really appreciate that because of all the different things. That was interesting. All the different things that can happen. Okay, and this will take time. I'm telling you, I've been playing it for a couple weeks and I still do not have what I need yet. So a chronicler panel. What does a chronicler panel do? Well, it chronicles an item. So we're going to put a fence gate in. You'll see it's going to spin around and around, and some of those magical enchantment table letters, numbers, whatever those symbols are going to appear. While that's going around, eventually you're going to see some lightning flash and stories are going to be added to it. I believe all of them will have a minimum of 2, up to 4. I don't think I've seen one with 1 yet. When it's done, you will no longer see it on top and you can pull it down. You can start another one up, and again, it could be up to 4. So once the item disappears, it's done being chronicled. So right now that one has 1. It'll keep going for a minute. Every item out of those 993 items has a tier assigned to it. It'll either be a tier 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 item. The level 1 chronicler can only chronicle tier 1 and tier 2 items. So for example, the activator rail, if I try to chronicle it, it gets kicked off. The chronicler says, nope, this is a tier 3 item. You need at least a tier 2 chronicler to be able to do it. Now the item and the chronicler are a little bit different. So a level or a tier 1 chronicler can undo item levels 1 and 2. A tier 2 chronicler can do 1, 2, and 3. A tier 3 chronicler will do levels 1 through 4, and a tier 4 will do levels 1 through 5. So while this is going around, it's getting its stories added to it. And there are 6 types of stories, exactly matching the crystals. Common, unique, rare, mythical, epic. The same types of stories will match types of the items the chronicler is going to, the stories that the chroniclers will match the same types of crystals. Sorry guys. So this one is just about done. You also can only put items that have been chronicled in a tier 2 will have to go into at least a tier 2 realization altar. If I were to try to take this activator rail and put it in here, it's going to get kicked out. Now, to craft the more advanced, this is what I'm talking about, so it's going to take you a while to craft the more advanced tiers of these machines. To make the level 1 Chronicler is simple. It's black or deep slate, Corinthian bronze, magical lump, and an amethyst cluster. But to make the tier 2, no big deal, deep slate, magical lumps, but amalgamate ingots. What's the amalgamate made out of? Well, there's a reason why it's called amalgamate. Whoops. It will take one of each type of uncommon crystal. Now, I'll show you in a little bit how you get these crystals and what type you're going to get. The lower tier chroniclers will yield lower tier crystals. The higher tier chronicles will yield higher tier crystals. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get rare on tier 1. You can, but on a tier 1, it is very rare that you will get it. So if I put one of these items that I've realized or chronicled into the realization chamber, you're going to start to see amethyst buds grow. What you're waiting for is to see the white animation particles around these. They can be placed up to 3 blocks in any direction from the realization altar. That includes diagonally. All right, so here we have one that has the crystals. You can mine it with your hand. You can mine it with a tool. You will get a minimum of 3 crystals. Now again, we got common. I believe this one is also going to be common. Yep. And this third one is almost done. So we'll give it just another second or two here. Hopefully it'll be right up. Once you've chronicled the item, you're going to be able to learn more about it. So while we're waiting for that, let's go back into the guide and let's look at the items here. So the story will tell you, once you've chronicled an item, it will tell you how many different crystals it will yield. So 2 mechanical, 1 human, and 1 philosophical. The level, whether common, unique, rare, will be determined every time you chronicle it. You'll see that in this case, when I do this acacia sapling, I know that of those crystals that hit the ground and grow, the amethyst crystals, 2 will be common, 1 will be unique. And I will get the appropriate mechanical or human or whatever it happens to be, whatever it could be, the elemental, it could be the philosophical. We'll find out when we chronicle it and run it through the realization altar. So in that case, I did get 4. I got 2 unique void, 1 unique mechanical, and 1 unique human. So we'll put the sapling in a realization altar. So going back to our guide, now that the sapling is in there, I know I'm going to get 4 different crystals. I'm going to get 1 of each. The question is going to be which one is going to be what level. Sometimes you have to kind of look. Now, as far as I know, they will only spawn on the same level as the realization altar. They will not go up or down. So we'll mine all these up. There's our 4th one, so we got them all. So we got uniques out of the one that had 4 and common out of the ones that had 3. So if I mentioned earlier the recipes to upgrade these, you need, go back here, you need 2 of each one of those rare, or uncommon, excuse me, 2 of each of those uncommon. Well, you saw in all those that I just did, I didn't even get one. And then additionally, it's the same thing with the realization chambers or altars. When you're upgrading those, you're also going to need to have had 2 of each uncommon as part of the amalgamate dust, and you need 2 of those to make the ingots to make the new realization altar. None of this can be automated, so this will take you some time. This is really cool. I love this. All right. Now, how does all that translate into making spells and making the plates that you need to put on your staves? So we're going to come over here to the liquefaction basin. You can see there are 4 different tiers. Each can hold a different amount of crystal, and I have those numbers on the signs. And again, as part of the crafting recipes for a tier 2, you need tier 1 and additional stuff. Same thing with 3 and 4. To put the items in here, we're simply going to drop them. Now we're going to jump into the guide because to get these spells made, we need to know how to make these basic plates to start with. A basic plate is a minimum of 10 elemental, 10 human, and 10 philosophical. So we're going to find 10 of each. So we have 10 elemental, 10 human, and where are philosophical? Philosophical. Okay. So all 30 of those, whoops, that one missed. I overshot it. And 10 philosophical. Okay. They will melt into the liquefaction basin. And now we need some reinforced, that's right, more reinforced plates. Not just alloy ingots, but plates. Oops, I forgot my name. There we go. And let's give myself, we'll just give 5 for now. Reinforced plate. There we go. Okay. You drop in the reinforced plate, and now you'll see we now have a basic spell plate. Every spell is unique. How do we create them? There are 9 different crystals. Every spell requires 3 different types. There are 84 possible combinations of 3 different types with 9 different crystals. There are only 69 spells, which means 15 combinations will not yield anything. How do you find out? It's dumb luck. So let's give it a shot. In addition, some spells will require more than just the bare minimum to actually work. We're going to attempt right now just to try to randomly create a spell. So let's do a philosophical, let's do an animal, and let's do a human. Wow. We're going to drop our plate in. All right, what did we get back? It kicked it out. Oh my gosh, we might have found a combination that does not work. All right, we'll try another one. We'll try animal, human, and mechanical. And then we'll drop in our basic spell plate. Wow, it kicked it way off. Did it not like that one? Okay, it did like that. So we were able to combine an animal, a human, and a mechanical, and we've got a charged spell plate. This one will summon a golem. Now, we have a few different ways to apply these. I'm going to just sneak in here and grab the staves. So we'll just start with the basic. The advanced, you apply it the exact same way. Generally, the difference between the two is the cooldown of using each spell. We're going to apply the spells to the staves in the stave configurator. Now, it is wax copper. I did apply a honeycomb to mine. It is still oxidizing. I don't know if there's a way around that or not. But we've got a basic stave in here. You can put one of 4 different plates in here. So we'll put a charged basic spell plate that will summon a golem. And when you're done, click on Save the Configuration. So now by left clicking, we can summon a golem. Let's see if we can get it to work. So we will left click. We do not have enough Crystamae. So how do you find out how much do you need? So let's look in the guide. We had enough to create it. Once you've created it, you can learn everything you need to know about it. So here we go. Summon the golem. We know, again, what it does. Golems will follow you. We know which types of crystal that it takes. We know that it's created in a liquefaction basin. It costs 50 crystal to cast this. Well, when we created it, we only put 30 on here. So if I would have gone, say, 20, 20, 10, that would have given me 50 to cast it. And there's a 5-second cooldown between each use. So it fires immediately. The spell does not damage, nor does it heal. There is no range affection. There's no knockback. It is not a projectile, and it has no effects. There's a lot of information you can learn about each type of spell that you can cast. So how do we get 50 Crystal on there? Well, let's look through the guide. We come back to the guides. How to recharge a spell. To refill a plate with Crystal first, we have to remove it. Then in a liquefaction basin, make that recipe and then put the plate in. So whatever it took, we put in 30 to start, we have to add at least 20 more. So let's go back into the stave configurator. We'll put our stave in. We're going to remove the plate. We'll pull it off. Now, staves can hold up to 4 different plates. If you created one that only has 1 plate on it to start with and you want to add 3, you have to remove 1 first and then put the 4 on where you want it. You can use it so that 1 will left click, 1 will shift left click, 1 will shift right click, and 1 will right click. These 4 spots are where you put your plates. When you're done, save it. So let's come back and look at our iron golems again. Make sure we get the right ones. So again, we need mechanical, human, and animal. So let's drop a few of those in there. So mechanical, we'll do 5. Human, 5. Hopefully animal, 5. And then we'll drop our plate in. Okay. Makes me chase it all the time. All right, let's put our plate back on. So now we have 180 on there. We'll put it there. We'll save it. Grab our stave. And let's go into F5 mode just so we can see this. And we'll left click. Hey, look at that. We have summoned a golem. How many charges do we have left? 130. So I can summon 2 more golems. Oh, look at the guy. Oh, it's Walshy. Hi, Walshy. We'll summon 2 more golems. Remember, we have a 5-second delay between each. You can see it failed because we haven't gotten through the cooldown yet. All right, there's number 3. Let's take a look at these guys. So we got Apiros, we got Walshy, and we got Jeff. Nice. All right. Let's see here. And let's just give Boomer a diamond sword. Let's see what it takes to get rid of them. Now, granted, I'm in creative. I'm just curious. You know what? Let's go in survival. And let's see if they come after me. No, because they're designed to protect me. Wow, look at this. We are slaying the golems. So that is a nice thing. It's a nice way if you need to summon an iron golem. Hey, great. They're hanging in there pretty good against a basic sword. And considering they're not fighting back, I'd say they're doing a nice job. So that's just one of the potions. And again, there are 69 different potions. Now, you'll notice something. They didn't drop. Everybody's probably wondering, ooh, they're going to drop a basic circuit board. No, we're not going to make this one OP, that's for sure. That's part 1 of Crystamae Historia. And I'm telling you guys, you will not go through this quickly. If you spend 8 hours a day on this, yeah, you might knock it out in a few weeks. You might actually make it up to a tier 4. If you're going to unlock all of 992 items, by the way, I do know Sephi will be updating this for 118 to add some new items. I'm sure he's going to be looking for some new stories in addition to some new spell ideas. So if you have feedback, I know he wants to hear it. I am excited to continue to play this, to work through, to see what's all in here, because there is no way to cheat and unlock all this unless you tear through the code, and I'm not going to do that. I'm enjoying playing this. I really hope you guys got the basics. So parts 2 and 3, just to give you a rough idea of what they're going to include. Part 2 is going to be dedicated pretty heavily to the paintbrush and a few of the other options that are in here. And then part 3, we're going to get into some of these other guides and items that are in here. There are some really cool things. The dispersion lamps we'll get into. We'll get into some of these vacuums and some of the cursed earth. What else we got in here? There's some different plates that will do different things. We've got XP collectors, a little bit lower level than some of the other ones in the game, higher than others. We've got, wow, we can stop Enderman from bugging us in the end. Oh man, I could have used that a few years ago. We got some candles. We'll talk about what those do in addition to more mysterious items. So I'm looking forward to showing you the tutorials. I want to get this out to you guys here. Also, I got the Slimefun weekly update coming later today. But don't forget, when you're playing Slimefun, you gotta go Boomer or you gotta go home. We'll see you later.